Hey, what is up you guys? Brendan here with Digital Cynics. Hope you're all doing well. In this day and age, there are a crazy amount of chair companies to choose from. So today in this review, my goal is to get you one step closer to picking the right chair for you. Today in this video, we're gonna be taking a look at the OdinLake Ergo ART 643 ergonomic chair. First off, I do want to mention OdinLake's turnaround time was actually pretty impressive. Using a 100% off coupon code that they gave me, I ordered the chair off of their website and I received it about 4 or 5 days later. So that's a pretty good order time, especially for a chair. For anyone who has ordered a chair from a larger brand in the past, you may already be aware, sometimes it can take a long time. Just for my Secret Lab chair that I have been using for the last couple years, took about 6 weeks to receive that in the mail. And for anyone who's pretty impatient like myself, that can be an absolute killer and deal breaker for you. So definitely a plus for OdinLake there. All right, so let's get this chair put together and check it out. All right, so putting this chair together was extremely easy. It took me about 10 to 15 minutes. The instructions were pretty thorough. I was able to do it myself, no problem. I've also now been sitting in and using my Ergo ART for a couple weeks now, and well, it definitely has its issues. Anyways, more on that later in the video, so make sure you stick around to the end. Otherwise, let's check out some of the chair's features. At first glance, the chair has a nice minimalistic and modern design and is made of an elastic mesh material that feels pretty nice to the touch. You also do have an adjustable seat that slides forward and back, 3D adjustable armrests, and a plush headrest that can be adjusted up and down. The chair does recline back to a 145-degree angle at max and does come with a crank under the seat to adjust the tension of the backrest. There are a total of 3 locking positions on the backrest, along with a lumbar support you can slide up and down on the back. The base is a seemingly sturdy metal build and comes with 5 wheels that are partially metal and plastic that glide around pretty well on the hardwood floor. Definitely not the best glide I've ever had on a chair, but it's not anything to really complain about. Now, after using this chair for a couple weeks, like I said, I don't have any issues with the comfort of the chair. I just want to make that clear. The actual seat cushion is really comfortable and it is good for long periods of time. And the backrest actually does form to my back pretty well. So the combination of those two things is not my issue with this chair whatsoever. Those I think are done, decently well. The absolute biggest complaint I have with this chair are the features that I just went over prior in the video. So just to start with the armrests, they barely have any sort of cushion on them whatsoever. It's sort of just like a slightly cushioned hard plastic. And they do kind of get uncomfortable for me after long periods of time. And the whole 3D aspect of these armrests are sort of a joke, to be honest. Just check them out. So you have the 3D movements that you can do with them. The only issue is it's extremely difficult to actually do most of these motions. So this is pretty tough to move back and forth here. There's no actual locking positions, which, they can kind of slide back and forth on their own sometimes. Same with this. You can kind of hear that there is kind of locking positions, but they don't work very well. So once again, these are sliding up and down constantly for me. This one just came loose. I thought maybe there was a loose screw or something. Nothing I could find. This one's just a little loose, or this one's too tight, one of the two. Same deal here. This one's actually, once again, a little easier to slide back and forth, almost to the point where it feels too loose, as to where the other one was too tight. And same deal here as well. Just a prime example here, the Secret Lab Titan XL is the one I've been using for quite a while now. Same deal, you get the 3D motion with it, except this one has actual buttons and locking positions to move them. So having those defined locking positions really makes the difference here for me. It just makes the chair feel a lot more stable. And we're talking 2 chairs that are roughly in the same price range here. And it's just one of those features that I don't think should be missing. Now, moving on to the backrest, as I mentioned earlier, the Ergo ART has 3 locking positions total, and I have to say all 3 of them are kind of just very awkwardly placed to me. The first locking position is just straight up and down, and where I understand that maybe they did this for ergonomic purposes to help with posture, it is just flat out uncomfortable. It almost feels like I'm being pushed forward. The second locking position is too far back to the point where I just don't see anyone sitting like this at their desk. And the third locking position is just a full recline, which is totally fine and comfortable if you're trying to kick back and relax, but obviously you would never use this position for any sort of practical use while at a desk. So honestly, not having the ability for me to personally choose where I want the chair to lock and being confined to these 3 different locking positions doesn't really seem like a feature that I would get on an expensive premium chair that they claim that this is. You also do get a decently comfortable adjustable headrest, but unfortunately, I can't even really use it that well. For someone like me who's 6'2", I have to have the headrest all the way up, but the unfortunate thing about it is any slight amount of pressure that I put on this headrest, it just goes and slides right back down. And once again, this is not a feature that I would see on a high quality premium chair. And it's honestly going back to the same issue I have with the armrest. There's just no real defined locking positions for any of these features, and it really makes for a cheap feeling chair to me. And finally, I'm just not in love with this little plastic lumbar support. Compared to other lumbar supports on ergonomic chairs I've used in the past, I don't really think that this is doing a whole lot. Now, you honestly may think I'm just nitpicking on some of this stuff with this chair, but I personally do not think that I am, especially when considering the #1 issue I have with this chair, and that is the astronomical $600 price range. And yes, you heard me right, $600.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
For a price point this high for a chair, I think it's fair to expect something a lot more sturdy and more premium feeling than what we're getting here. And just to compare, my Secret Lab Titan XL, although not an ergo chair, is $100 cheaper, and the quality difference is absolutely night and day. There's no question about it. It is a much higher quality chair. This is just honestly a perfect example of just because it is a high priced item does not make it a more premium item. The devil's in the details. If you're looking for a chair with certain features and those features just aren't good, the chair is probably just not worth it, you know? Hopefully I was able to get one step closer to narrowing down your chair options if you've been looking for a new chair recently. And also, if you want to see another ergonomic chair that Blake reviewed recently, I will pop it up above right now and I will link it down below in the description. It's definitely an overall good chair, and it is a fraction of the price of the OdinLake chair that I'm reviewing here today. That is going to wrap up my video today though, guys. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to give it a like. It does help us with the YouTube algorithm. Also, check out our social media, always linked down below in the description. And let me know, what is your favorite ergonomic chair or just chair in general that you prefer for your gaming or computer desk setup. And once again, my name is Brendan, and if you want to see future content on tech, games, movies, to literally anything nerdy in between, make sure to subscribe to Digital Cynics. Peace.